Hello, and welcome to what I hope will be the first of many teardown videos. I've decided to start my own YouTube channel, tearing down electronics, and possibly some repair videos, possibly some modification videos. I figure I'll just record when I'm working on projects and add some commentary and maybe come up with an interesting video or two to share with the world. I was inspired by Dave Jones over on EEV blog and Mike on Mike's electrical stuff, and also there's a YouTube channel called Photonic Induction and a few others. I've really enjoyed their videos, and I have my own unique style, and I figured I'd share it with YouTube. Most everything that I tear down, if I don't put it back together, I'm going to be salvaging what parts I can off of it and putting them into my parts bins. You'll see those in my mods videos or my repair videos when I need spare parts. And whatever I don't salvage, I will recycle. I'm going to make an effort not to actually throw away in the regular garbage anything that I can avoid doing so. Fortunately, there are several electronics recyclers in Pittsburgh here where I live, so I should be able to effectively recycle almost everything. A lot of you are probably going to be coming from my main channel, where I post a lot of miscellaneous stuff, but mostly videos of bad drivers that I take with my custom dashcam setup. And then others will be from my Twitter followers, so a lot of you know me as Dobie, or Dobie Tanpaw. It's a moniker that I've used online now for going on 20 years, and I'll continue to use it here just to keep a modicum of anonymity. A bit of history on myself: I'm an amateur radio operator and have been in the electronics hobby since I could pick up a screwdriver, basically. My mother used to tell people not to buy me anything expensive because it would usually just end up getting taken apart. And it wasn't until I was 8 or 10 years old before I learned how to start putting things back together again. So, on with our first teardown. I have here a vintage two-way email pager. This was a dumpster dive find. They were cleaning out either an office or a storage area where I work, and they had a big rolling bin of trash outside of it. And so I decided to go digging down into it and see what I could find. And this was one of the little treasures I pulled out of there, along with some Plantronics headsets and such, which might be useful for other parts. So, let's get to it. These are not very useful anymore. I mean, every smartphone on the planet has text messaging built in, and just about anybody knows how insecure these 900 megahertz alpha pagers are. NOA 06Q beep, what a hell of a model number. Anyway, it's probably a 900 megahertz two-way alpha pager. Probably does a little bit of email, like basic email functions in that too. We'll have a look, see what's inside, and see if there's anything interesting to be had. There's probably a few parts in here we can salvage. That display is probably useful. So let's have a look, see where the screws are on this here. We got one Torx screw there, and looks like another one there. I don't feel any under the label, so let's have at. Aha! Found one. One of my nice Stanley Tamper Torx drivers, actually. So let's have a look, see what's inside. And I did violate Dave's rule. I did turn this on before I started this just to see if it worked, and it does power on, and it doesn't have any messages in it, and I didn't want to try and send any messages or anything with it because I don't know if it's on someone's account and would still or what have you. I doubt it is, but oh, and I got a couple little clips there, and in we go. So, oh no, that's cute. We've got our little motor for the vibration function there. It's connected to the board through one of these rubber zebra stripe doohickeys. I don't know the proper term for them. Please, I am just learning a lot of this stuff. Don't hate on me in the comments. If you know what something's called and I don't, please let me know. Looks like the battery contact for the positive side of the battery is a nice little spring contact. It goes down onto the board there. And then the motor contacts are here next to what looks like the main chip. We've got a small battery here. Let's see here, what do we have? A little NiCad battery. Wow, this really dates this thing. It's a NiCad battery. I'm wondering if that lot code is also a date code, first week of 2008. We'll see. We'll take a look at some of the other components in here. That wow, that RF can there looks like it got a little crushed. There's no evidence of such on the case, but the case is made of some very, very flexible plastic. Probably get crushed pretty handily without damaging the plastic. So this board here was just sitting on top. It's got a little connector through right there. Get in depth a little bit more. This might be the RF board. It might make sense to connect the power directly to the RF board. Let's see what else we got in here. We'll come back to that. So, it's a nice flexible rubber gasket covered in crud. I'm surprised how much crud is in this, actually. It seemed fairly well sealed from the outside. Down into the next layer, looks like there's at least one more layer beyond this one in here. So, see how easily this pulls out. Let's use a metal tool. Oh, there we go. Right out. Okay, looks like we've got more of that rubberized zebra type connector there. Nice and squishy. A very large 2 amp fuse on the power input. A nice big filter cap down here. And a few other things under RF cans again. They really took their shielding seriously. Let's see here, we've got a Motorola microprocessor on here, which is not surprising. An SC4399. Got a neat little plastic stiffener in here. Between the next layer of board, there's some flat flex here. I'd be willing to bet that goes up to the screen. Yeah, because you can see this is going up through the hinge there. I'd be willing to bet that goes up to the screen. So this would be our keypad, which is probably... Oh! Pop it right off there. Just throw that anywhere. Oh, very nice. That's why it felt so nice. Little metal dome switches. Very tactile. Very well made. Got a little bit of electroluminescent tape around them to light up the keys. That's nice. And then we've got the keypad there. Oops. Yeah, and there goes the keypad right there. So the screen is probably, yeah, it's just held together with some clips. Let's see what it can, how easy this comes apart here. Wow. Alright. I call that the Doberman way of doing things. So. This is still acting like there's a screw hidden down in there. But I don't see anywhere that that screw could be hiding. That or it's just glued on there. Alright, so we've got a LCD dot matrix display. Nothing too fancy. I was hoping it'd be in a housing. It's not. A little EL backlight there. Whoever designed this really liked their electroluminescence. Oh, see the GoPro up there. Yeah, I don't know that this is going to be very useful. There's no drivers, just a bunch of passives up here. And I don't see a driver on here anywhere. Oh, well, at least we got a part number now. It's probably... Oh, there has to be. No, no driver up there. It is direct driven. Direct driven from the board. So the LCD driver is down here somewhere. Alright, let's get into these system sports a little closer. So main processor, that's obvious. It's interesting with everything else that's in RF cans that this processor is not. That really surprises me. Yeah, I am not finding any information relevant to that Motorola processor there. Let's see what else we have on here. We have an HC138A. Okay, that's just some simple CMOS logic there. Come on, focus. Focus. Looks like some surface mount, either there's some surface mount resistors, and then under these cans, let's have a look, see if we can't get under these without too much difficulty. They are unfortunately soldered to the board, but again, since this is, I'm going to call this a tear apart, not a tear down, since I am not at all concerned with whether or not the device works when we're done. tearing the can. Oh, doing so much damage. Okay, now that we've got that first can off there, pulling up traces too while I'm at it. Alright, now we got what looks like possibly some type of a custom job there. Let's see here, T3R50. Low current microcontroller for wireless communication. Okay, so that's an RF microcontroller, according to some of the information I've found. It's general purpose. It can be used for IR or RF, any type of application where you're using phase shift key or frequency shift key, which makes sense considering that the Flex protocol is a frequency shift keyed protocol. Now let's go under this next can here and see what we've got. Alright, what do we have on here? Got another integrated circuit here. A Max 847 is a one-cell step-up two-way pager system IC. It's made by Maxim Semiconductor. It is a complete power supply and monitoring system for two-way pagers and other low-power digital communication devices. This here is a chip designed specifically for pagers. It's designed to run on a single battery cell, and it's got a regulator in it that can boost the voltage up to 4.9 volts from that single 1.5 volt cell. Makes sense considering there's some filtering caps and an inductor and some resistors around it here. It's designed to operate with minimal number of external devices. Looks like it's probably interfaced to this RF control chip, and this is probably a main system processor. You got an oscillator crystal there. So let's see what's under this last can on the board. This one's a little beefier than the other two, but it just popped right off. Looks like we've got another Maxim Semiconductor chip there. That one being an MP528. A high voltage EL lamp driver. Okay, so that makes this circuit here, this is our electroluminescent driver circuit for probably both the display and the backlight on the keyboard. That's the main side of the board. On this side, what do we have on this side here? Looks like we have some flash memory. Let's see how much memory that is. That is an AMD chip. It's an AM29 LV0040. 512K times 8 bits. CMOS boot sector flash memory. Yep, that's the flash memory. This is where it's going to store all of your little pages. And what's this other chip on here? That little BGA package. CY621. Okay, that's static RAM. Okay, and this is a 2 megabit static RAM chip. So between this flash memory here and this, you've got your RAM and your ROM to run the system. And I like the arrangement putting the RAM immediately below that main system processor there. Someone was thinking speed, right? Well, maybe not. Efficiency, for sure. Alright, let's move on to what I'm assuming is the RF board. So we've got a Motorola 79Z77. 79Z77. I cannot find anything about this particular chip here, at least not handy or quickly. There wasn't anything easily found about it, but given that this is an RF board, it's probably one of Motorola's RF control chips. So looks like we've got some more RF-y type packages up here. Let's have a look, see what's under these cans. So, what do we have here? RF. Lots of RF components. We have a filter. Actually, two different filters here, it looks like. Now that's just a gigantic capacitor. That's definitely an RF filter of some type. That looks like a preamp there. Probably an LNA of some type. Over here on this side, alright, so there's no information about that on the datasheet archive either. Got a little inductor there. Oh, I broke a transistor. Lots of little surface mount components under here. I'm willing to bet that's a power amp. That's probably an RF power amp, given that it's got these wide double pin deals coming off of it. I'm going to guess that that is indeed our antenna. So you got some filtering, a couple LNAs probably coming in here. I'm willing to bet that that's a RF cavity filter of some type. Given that this operates at 900 megahertz, this type of thing could be, these components can be very small. That's definitely an oscillator, 45.100. And I've seen things like that before in other RF applications. That's what's inside an old pager. This was a two-way alphanumeric pager. One of those ones, basic email functionality. Predecessor to the BlackBerry, basically. Or a cheap version of a BlackBerry. Unfortunately, not too many usable parts on the boards. It's all surface mount. So recovering anything off of here is going to be a pain in the butt. Probably the only things I'm going to attempt to recover is this flash memory, because this could be useful. It's a decent sized flash memory. If I had another device with flash memory died on it, I could use it to replace it. This fuse, definitely useful, and I can probably pull that off the board without too much hassle if I pull out my hot air gun. Down here on this board, I'm sure there's plenty of useful parts on here. I don't know what any of these parts do specifically. Being a radio geek myself, it might be interesting to try and use some of these components to build my own transmitter, or use this as a module in a transmitter project. So this, despite the fact that I've damaged some of the surface mount components on it, this is going to get thrown into the junk bin. This could possibly be useful. This I will extract the flash memory from, and this fuse at least, possibly this CMOS here, and the capacitors, because they're well labeled. That EL driver circuit, that could be useful. Not sure though. But again, this will go into the junk bin and for parts recovery. This here is definitely going to go into my parts bin. It looks like it's just clipped in there with a couple of plastic clips, so we'll just get under it and pop it out. Oop, there we go. If you want, leave me comments, please. Constructive criticism is always welcome on this channel. I'm looking to improve. I want to do a lot more of these. I love taking things apart, seeing how they work. And I'm always finding stuff like this in trash bins and such. And if people are even interested, I will even do what guys like Dave and some of the others do, where I will let you guys send me stuff. I'll publish an address you can send stuff to me at, and I will take it apart. And we'll see what's inside and see what makes it tick. Until next time.